What is going on, YouTube? I'm excited today because I get to finally change out the manual transmission fluid in my 2015 Z28. It's got the Tremec 6060 manual transmission, and I was quite surprised to find out that this application goes into 17 other different vehicles, from the Dodge Challenger to the Ford Shelby GT500, the Chevy SS, Cadillac CTS, the CT4, CT5. So I mean, there's lots of applications with it, similar setup, and I'm going to show you how to change that out today. Tools that are going to be required for this: 3/8 ratchet, a 3/8 extension, and one of these little handy dandy universal swivels to be clean. So I got a pair of gloves, some shop towels, a 5-6 quart drain pan, and the fluid that you're going to need, they used to call it the Dexron 3. That was part number 888-61600. And when I ordered it, I actually got sent this. And that's the AC Delco 19540-137. I did in fact call the GM reps, and they did say that that is the equivalent or change out of what they would call the old school Dexron 3. The transmission itself takes 4.5 quarts, so make sure you get 5. And then I got one of these little pumper things you stick down in here with the hose to go into the fill plug when you're ready to go. I already got the vehicle jacked up, so let's get started. All right, so you guys can see that you can get under this kind of in two different ways. First off, I went to Amazon and I got these two little ramps side by side just to give it 4 or 5 inches, and I did that on both sides. They're about 86 bucks a piece. So that's one way you could get your car off the ground. Are the traditional jack and jack stands. What I want to show you is right in front of the rear tire. This thing has a cutout for the jack or jack stands right by the rear tire, and front view. And again, what you're trying to make sure that you're on is this rail piece right there, not the plastic itself, but kind of in the middle. Just pulling it back a little bit for a jack stand just to get it off the ground. I'm using this just as a third support. You can do that if you want. If not, which I have it firmly rested on the jack stands, and that's just tight or taut, ready to go. So you might be asking why I have the wood and the pickets. Now these are only about I think it's a 4.9 raise for the car itself. It's this guy right here, the splitter, that catches, because of how long it is, it starts catching almost right there, right before it gets over the hump, and then it has this little notch right there. So I just kind of give it a few inch lift so I can safely raise up on the ramps. And one last thing, if you got a pair of iPro, anytime you slide underneath the car, wear them. Better safe than sorry. All right, guys. GM wasn't playing around when they made the Z28. It's really loaded. If you can see, my chest is right here, and this thing is lifted 4 or 5 inches off the ground, and I'm struggling a little bit. But the direction this way is facing the rear, so coming from the passenger side. So the drain plug on this thing is all the way in the back, right next to this brace right here. That is your drain plug 3/8 socket, and if you're questioning yourself, you can see that it's etched right there to let you know that that is the drain, and that's on the passenger side of the transmission. Taking you from here, the drain plug, if we just back up just a little bit, right on the other side, right here, that's your fill plug, marked as so. Before you go and open the drain plug, you want to make sure that this opens up before releasing the drain plug and draining everything out, just so you can make sure you can get fluid back in. So this is coming from the driver's side. There's the transmission plug here. You take your 3/8 ratchet. Just to be on the safe side, when you open up the fill plug, there might be a little more fluid in there.
So if that comes off easy, we don't have any issues from that. And now we move on to the drain plug. This is where your universal 3/8 adapter comes in, which is nice with your little extension there. It just allows you to easily get in here. They don't put these things in here too tight, so good for us. All right, now that that's loosened up, we can use just the hand. I'm gonna go ahead and get out of the way. Slide in the drain pan. Tighten up the fill plug.